There does become a point when you just have to say, let's just go take photos, isn't there? Like, just to get out with the camera. And that's exactly what I'm doing today. And yeah, I'm really looking forward to this. It is quite windy, a bit windier than I had hoped, which may affect the audio, but what does the video look like? I'm recording on the Nikon Z50 with the little 16 to 60 to 50 kit lens. What do you think? Let me know. It looks good. Autofocus looks good. It's such a small, compact little package, but still houses a 20 megapixel mic four thirds size. Whoops, Freudian slip. A 20 megapixel crop sensor, which should be really nice if I decide to, I don't know, use the long lens, the 70-300 with the FTZ adapter, and I'll have something like between 100 and 450 focal length, which would be nice even if I wanted to do a bit of wildlife, which I may not, but it's nice to have that option. There's actually some really nice, sorry about the wind, some really nice rain falling across the valley, so I'm going to head up here to an area where I know I might be able to get a shot of a couple of windmills with the nice moody sky as a backdrop. So yeah, let's go. I know what you're thinking. That said walkway closed, and then you saw me walking up the walkway, but I'm local, it's okay. I know exactly why the walkway is closed, and I know that I'm perfectly safe to walk through it. It's just they don't want hordes of people coming up here, because there's very dangerous bog holes, and if you don't know the terrain, well, you could be going for a swim, but I know where I'm going, it's all good. Okay, so I'm currently cowering behind a rock because, like I thought, there is some fantastic light breaking over the windmills along with the rain, but unfortunately that is blowing straight back into my face, so the lens is getting all wet, and so is the lens that I'm shooting with. So I'm going to peek back over, see what it's like. I do have the 70-300 in the bag, so I might put that on. I know I lied, I said I only had a 24-70, but sorry, not sorry. I have the 70-300 with the FTZ adapter, so I'm going to put that on. I'm going to try and isolate 3 or 5 windmills. I like to work in odd numbers and grab a shot with a nice dramatic light in the background. Come on. Just when the light is breaking, you don't want it. Oh no. That is a disaster. I don't believe it. My L bracket is too far forward on the camera, and the FTZ adapter is interfering with it, and I forgot my Allen keys to move it, so now I need to try and get my keys. I'm going to protect my sensor, get my keys, open the L bracket. Oh, no way, this is just keys. Oh, please say this works. Nice one. Slide back my L bracket. Okay. Now I should be able to put on the lens. Oh man, that was an ordeal, like. Okay. Let's see if we can grab this shot. so it's really windy. I don't know if you can hear me well, but it's just some fantastic light breaking right behind the windmills. Not going to say I called it, but I called it. I was at the bottom of the mountain. I said that's probably where I'm going to get a shot, and that comes down to just local knowledge. It comes down to just knowing the area. It comes down to knowing exactly what times of day to shoot in certain locations. And I mean, I've walked this patch for the past year, up and down nearly, I'd say at least 2 or 3 times a week, so I know exactly where to come for the shot. But again, I've been shooting portrait and horizontal, kind of mixing it up, shooting 3 or 5 windmills. Odd numbers works well in photography. I think there's a rule about that somewhere, don't quote me on that. But the rain meeting the light behind the landscape, absolutely fantastic. I'm exposing for my highlights. I don't mind about having dark shadows because there's nothing really that interests me in that foreground. So yeah, expose my highlights, grabbing the windmills. I'm in between 100 and 150 mil, okay? So I have the Z6 with the FTZ adapter on. Okay, I'm gonna go back here a second. So I've just nestled down here in between some rocks to try and find some shelter away from the wind, which isn't really working, I don't think. But that was a lot of fun. That was a lot of fun. I love those kind of days where it's wild. And if you've ever watched my older vlogs, you'll know that I often sacrifice probably audio quality for kind of wild days like this, where you've got a lot of fleeting light and you don't even know what's going to happen. It's very much run and gun style shooting, and that's what I was shooting with. So I have the 70-300 AFP lens with the FTZ adapter on the Nikon Z6, and it's an incredibly sharp lens. Bought it second hand off of Shane Brennan, a very talented Irish photographer, and yeah, it's a fantastic lens. It does exactly what I need to do for landscape photography. I don't need a heavy f2.8 lens. It's just, yeah, ideal. So I'm going to keep kind of wandering around and just see what happens. There's a lot of these kind of glacial rocks that I have one idea for a video I want to shoot here in this particular rock that I'm in. It's a sunset. It should be a sunset shot, but there's a lot of them scattered across this mountain, and I'm gonna just keep wandering around and see what happens. You wouldn't know, a day like today you could get rainbows, you could get drenched with a rain shower, anything could happen. So yeah, think you enjoyed those images. Definitely captured one. Beautiful drama. The windmills, give them or take them. I know they're a bit of an eyesore in the landscape, but they did provide me with a subject there in that particular shot. So, a fun day so far.
And now, ladies and gentlemen, you will see Sean speaking without his microphone plugged in. So yeah, obviously the headphone jack, or the mic jack got unplugged or something, so the audio is not usable in this segment, but I made a few very valid points which I felt necessary to do this voiceover for, because it was probably the most valid points I made in the whole video, which is ironic. But basically I was talking about how the light interacts with the landscape, and I was looking down on Castle Oliver, which is an ancient and old castle that has, I don't even know when it was built. I think it could have been 1700s, but it's a beautiful castle, and the light was just dancing across the landscape in between the clouds. And I was talking about how, as a landscape photographer, you must try and understand how light interacts with the landscape, especially on days like that particular day, because when you do that, then you can put yourself in positions to predict that light, and not even predict it, but you can put yourself in positions to capture those images over certain subjects. So I literally sat down. I knew the light was going to hit the castle at some stage because I could see it moving across the landscape. So I sat down and I waited, and lo and behold it did, and you'll see the final image after this. But the key point was, when you start to understand how light interacts with the landscape, then you can put yourself in positions to capture that light with your subject, with your composition in place. And especially on frantic days like that day, it's very nice to have some bit of predictability. Otherwise, you can spend a lot of the day running and racing. Okay, back to the video.
I think I'm going to finish up for the day. Really enjoyable day out shooting, and I hope you've enjoyed what I've said, if it's made any sense, and a couple of images I've shown. Before I finish up, I did want to address a couple of questions I got asked, and sorry, I'm standing in a very precarious position. Firstly, thank you to everyone who welcomed me back to making videos and whatnot, and those of you, a lot of you actually kind of asked me, you know, what made you return to making the videos, and not in a bad way, do you know what I mean, not like in a, oh god, what made you come back. It was a genuine curiosity, and I'll tell you one of the main reasons why I stopped making the videos. I simply felt that the quality of the content of the video, of some of the images I was taking, weren't up to par, and I also felt that I would often take an image for the sake of the video as opposed to kind of it being an actual credible shot. And I'm not talking about, like I spoke in the last video, I'm not talking about like these portfolio images the whole time. Every image that I show in these videos is not going to be a portfolio image. Today being a prime example. However, the images that I take should still align with the photographic knowledge, if that's a word, if, do you know what I mean, like the knowledge I'm trying to pass on. And that's one of the reasons I stopped. Like, the way I see it, if you're making videos to an audience of photographers, talking about photography, talking about composition, talking about techniques, light, everything else, and you're not taking images to back that up, well, then there's something misaligned there. It's like a music teacher not being able to teach music. So for me, I'm very conscious of the images I show you in these videos, and I do want the images to be of good quality, and I do want them to teach you a thing or two. So I'm not talking about snap happy, I'm just talking about images that will align with what I'm trying to say in the video. And that's why I kind of gave up, or that's why I stopped making the videos, along with I kind of struggle sometimes, got a bit burnt out. I kind of like, I'm very much a photographer before a filmmaker, so the photos come first, and some days I just didn't even want to vlog because I just wanted to focus on the images, and that's going to happen, you know. But what made me come back? Well, the enjoyment of making videos. Another reason I wanted to come back was I get asked a lot of questions through Instagram about my thought process primarily. So I'm hoping that in the making of these videos you'll understand what I'm kind of thinking when I'm out in the field, what I'm trying to shoot, why I'm trying to shoot in a certain way. I'll be talking a bit about gear, and yeah, I really just want to create some videos that will help you, the viewer, and hopefully you'll enjoy them. Might be able to see a new part of Ireland, hopefully, when we can all get out of these COVID restrictions. I'll be out travelling again. For now, you'll be seeing a lot of my local region, which it isn't a bad place either. Like, come on, let's face it, it's not a bad place at all. So yeah, with that I'm going to say goodbye. Thanks very much for watching. Stay safe. All the best.